Hi everyone, I'm Loganathan from Loga QA Automation channel. So today what we are going to cover is jump statements, or we can call that as control transfer statements in Python. So till yesterday or in the last video, what we have covered is how to use the loops, that too how to use the for loop is what we have covered so far. And inside for loop, how can we use this jump statements? That is what we are going to cover in this video. And after covering these jump statements, we'll cover nested for. So how can we use one for inside another for? So we'll cover that. And then finally, we'll see what is the other argument that I can use in my print statement. So far we have used print statement to print any data type, right? So say for example, if I want to print a number, I want to print a string. So all those things I can do with print statement, and it will print the value inside the output in the output logs. So now we'll see how to use end keyword in print statement, and then how it can be used for say some printing some patterns like say square or triangles. All right, with that, let's straight away jump into PyCharm, and I'll create a new Python file inside this loops package itself, and I'll name it as test04. The first thing that we are going to see is break. Okay, when do we use break? So as the name says, it is a jump statement or control transfer statement, and break must be used inside a loop. Okay, let's go with a straight example. So for I in range 5, print I. So what is this going to do? So this range will generate numbers from 0 to 4. This we have covered in the last video itself. This range can take multiple parameters. When I say multiple, 3 parameters it can take. If it is just given only one parameter, then that will be the end value, but end value will not be included, and it is going to create a collection of numbers starting from 0 to 4, right? So now I'm going to iterate it through the variable I, and this I will get the values of this collection one by one for every iteration, and it is going to use that values while printing it. Let me execute this. So it keeps going like print 1 2 3 4 5. So no, that is not the right one. Let me select the current file. Correct. So when I do this print, it prints from starting from 0 until 4. Okay, so this is what the for does. In case I don't want this for loop to continue after a certain point in time in this looping. For example, after 3, I don't want that break. I don't want that for loop to continue, and I want to break. How can I do it? I can say there is a condition I can put if I is equal to 5. Sorry, I said 3. Okay, if I is equal to 3, then I can use a break. Let's see how it goes. So it goes only from 0 to 3. It didn't print the last number. The reason is when the I becomes 4, the last value of this collection, it gets in, and when the I becomes 3, it gets in, and then it prints the 3, and after which it checks the condition whether I is equal to 3. Yes, it is 3. So it executes the break statement, and then when the break statement is executed, this for will get terminated. So the break will terminate the nearest for within which this break statement is present. So this breaks this for. I'll explain one more time how the control goes. So first, when I execute this program, it comes to the line number 3, because that is where the valid statement starts. The first one is a commented line. So it comes to the line 3, and then I becomes the first element of the range 5, which is nothing but 0, and it prints 0, and then it checks the condition whether 0 is equal to 3. No. Then what it does, it goes again and iterates second time. So second time the value will be 1. So it prints 0, and then it prints 1. 1 is equal to 3? No. Then it goes back. So it becomes 2. So it prints 2. And then it becomes 3. It comes here. When it becomes 3, it breaks the loop and then comes out. So from this, what you can understand is break is a statement that can be used for breaking a loop. And this time I have used a condition, right? So if I is equal to 3, then break. In case I don't want this condition to be given here, what will happen? Maybe I'll create a new program for it. So I'm not putting any condition. I'll simply say break. And I'll run this. And just for the ease of understanding, I'll follow the same approach that we did yesterday. Okay, everywhere I use this separator, okay, print -15 times. So now you see I printed, because the first time when it enters into it, it is 0. In this for loop, when it enters, it is 0. 0 is printed. Immediately after printing the 0, the break statement is executed, and then it came out of the for loop, and then it went to the next set of code. So that's when it again executes from 0 until this becomes 3. It has executed and it printed, and then it stopped. So from here, what you understand is break can be used with a condition or without a condition. No issues with that. If I don't use condition, then it is called unconditional break. If I use a condition and then I put a break, it is a conditional break. So any statement that I write after the break, for example, print 4, you see that it is grayed out. Say here I can say print hello. You see that this is also grayed out. I'll execute this. So this statement is never executed, right? The reason is after the break, the program is not going to enter into this particular point. So this is called unreached code. So the code which will never get executed, because this code will never get reached, because it is after the jumping statement. So do you understand when we use this break? Cool. So I'll give you one more example for this break. Okay. Right now I've used a very straightforward break. So what I do, I'll use print, the same line. Say I have a set of numbers. Okay. Say I have, let me create a list. I have 3, 8, 10, 15, 66, 99. I have a set, I have a list, let's assume. But I want to print only the numbers which are not in the range, say 10 to 20. Okay. So I don't want the numbers within 10 to 20. I want all other numbers present outside that range. How can I achieve it? Let's go with the same for loop for I in A. Then I can say, I can check if the range, right? The range is I is greater than or equal to 10 and I is less than or equal to 20, then break. Else what I want to do, I want to print it, print I. So let's execute this. As you see, am I doing any mistake? If I is greater than or equal to 10 and then I is less than or equal to 20, then it should break. Then it prints 3 and 8. Oh yeah. Once it breaks, then it will never get in. So it has done the break. So what I'm trying to do is, I just don't want to break only for 18 and 15. And okay, this time, just for your understanding, the moment I use break, what is happening? The for is completely broken and it has come out, right? Only the 3 and 8 are printed. So in this situation, what I can do, I want the control to take a U-turn, right? I don't want this I to be printed. Instead, the control should go back. So what can I do for that? I can use the next statement called continue. So what will this continue do? Anything after the continue will not print. It will again go back to the iteration. How many number of lines that you typed after the continue? It will not work. whether it is inside the if condition block or inside the for loop block, doesn't matter. The moment it hits the continue, it goes back to the next iteration. So let's see. Now if I run it, it prints 3, 8, and then it is not printing the numbers in the range 10 to 20, and it prints 66 and 99. So order is not important, guys. So here also I can give again, say 12, 14. So whatever order it is, the numbers are given. But if the number in the list is in the range of 10 to 20, then it will get skipped. It will just print only the values outside the range. See, 3, 8, 66 and 19. In case I want numbers only from that range, what I can do? Simple. It is I less than or equal to 10, and then I greater than or equal to 10. You just go back. If it is not, then print the I. So let me execute this now. So now you see that I less than or equal to 10. No, there is an AND condition, so I should change it to OR. You can see that it is printing 12, 14 and 15. Let me take that equal to, and I'll run it again. Cool. So 10, 15, 20, 12 and 14. So it prints only the values in the range 10 and 20. 10 to 20, whatever numbers are there in this, it is printing. See it? As you know, this allows duplicate. So I'll repeat this 12 and 14 two times. And I'll save this and run it again so that you'll see that 12 and 14 two times. So you see that 12 and 14 printed twice, 12 and 14 printed twice. Okay. All right. So this is how you use break, and this is how you use continue in your Python script. Okay. We have covered both break and continue. This is good. And I'll show you one more practical example where you can use the break. Okay, say there is a list. Okay, this list contains students. Okay, list student is equal to, say the students are Ravi, Ram, say Taufik, and then Navya. So there are 4 students. So in this list, I want to see if Ram is there or not. How can I do it? I can start with a loop for I is equal to in student list student. I'm going to check if I is equal to Ram. This is what I want to test. Then print found. Okay, let's see. Let me run this, and it says found, right? Because Ram is there in the list, that's why it says found. Let's see, I'm giving Navya here. What happens? Navya is also found. Let's see if I try to see if Ravi is present in this list or not. So Ravi is also present in this list. So here, if I use this program, what will happen? Say the control comes first to the 31st line when the loop starts, and then it checks if the first element is Ravi or not. If it is Ravi, it prints found. But will the loop stop here? No. What will happen? It will go to the second iteration, and then it will check the second value in the list is Ravi or not. If it is not, then again it goes back to third iteration because this condition is not met, so this statement will not be executed. Likewise, this loop will continue until the last element, and then it compares every element with this, and then it prints whether it is found or not. Okay, but we don't want that to happen, because if it is Navya, I understand, because that is the last name in this list, and if my program takes one by one and then compares every name and it reaches the last and then it finds and then it prints. It is good. But say the name is already found in the first place, then why do we want that loop to continue? The loop, you understand, right? The loop doesn't need to go on until the last once it finds the name. In that case, we have to break the loop and come out, right? That is where we'll use break. So what is going to happen this time when I run it? It just says found. So to prove that, what I do is here I'll say print I. Okay, so let me run this. So this time it says Ravi and then found. If I don't have this break, what is going to happen? It says Ravi found, but Ram, Tawfiq and then Navya. So this means the for loop has executed for 4 times for all the elements inside the list. Okay, that is the reason we use this break to make our program more efficient, and it has to be performance wise, it has to be better, right? So here in this list it is only 4. Think about a situation where you are retrieving names from a database table where you have thousands of name, and in that thousands of name you just need to find one name. What will happen if the name is found in the first 10 set of names itself, right? So then it will have to run for all 1000 rows and then ensure that it is no more found once again, right? So to avoid that, we'll use break. Okay, this is the practical example for break. Next, let's see what is the advantage of using continue, right? So this continue you already understand. I have shown you an example to find values in a range. Then we can use this continue, right? So to find a value or to exclude a value in a range, we can use this continue, right? Is this clear, guys? Perfect. So with that, what I do, I'll go to the next one, nested for. So nested for, I'll create a new file. I'll give it as test file. Okay, we have seen nested if, for example, a is equal to 20. So we say if a is greater than 10, go down. I don't need to use brackets in Python. A is greater than 10, go down. If a is greater than 15, say print greater than 15, else print less than 15. Okay, so if I execute this code, I will be getting this greater than 15 message. Correct? You are seeing that greater than 15 is printed because the value that I've entered 20 is greater than 10 and greater than 15. That's why this gets printed. What if I enter 12? I'll make it more, greater than 10 and less than 15. Okay. So you see that when I enter 12, it says it is greater than 10 and less than 15, the else part. If I go lesser than that, say for example 8 or something, if I give, it's not going to do anything because no condition is met when I enter 8. That's why it is not printing anything. All right, this is called nested if inside an if. Now we are going to learn about nested for. Let's do. I'll first write a simple for. I in range, let's say 5. I say print I. Okay, when I print this, it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll use this. Inside the for, I'll define one more for. And this for, I use the variable j. And this time also I go with the range 5. Now I'll print I comma j. Okay, see what is going to happen. Okay, it printed for the first for 0 to 4, and then next time what is happening is it is printing 0 0 0 1 0 2 0 3 0 4. Why? So this has the numbers from 0 to 4, or I'll put it 1 2 3 4, and in this range also we have values from 0 to 4. So when it crosses too far and comes here, the I, because right now we are in the first iteration of the outer for loop, and the first iteration of the outer for loop I is 0, and then here first iteration of inner for loop j is 0. So that's why the first time it prints 0 comma 0, but this second for is not completed yet, right? The inner for is not completed yet, so it goes for the second iteration, and then the j gets the value 1. When the j gets the value 1, the I value remains 0 because the condition or the control has not gone to for yet, the outer for yet. So it is still within the inner format. So that's why I remains 0, and then it prints 0 comma 0, and then 0 comma 1, and then 0 comma 2. I missed 2 in both the places. 0 comma 2, 0 comma 3, 0 comma 4. So that's why it prints for 0 of I, it prints all the j's. That's why it becomes 0 0 0 1 0 2 0 3 0 4. Once it reaches the 4, this for is over, right? This for has completely executed. Now it goes to the outer for, and in the outer for again it starts with 1 0 1. The second iteration comes with 1, but the inner for the j becomes 0 again. So that's why it goes from 1 0 1 1 1 2. So likewise it gets executed. Let me reduce it to maybe 3, so it will be easier for you to understand and execute this. Cool. So here you see 0 0 0 1 0 2, and then 1 0 1 1 1 2 2 0 2 1 2 2. So this is how the output is. So this is called using for loop in a nested way. So I have put in one for inside another for. So what happens if I use break here? Okay, say I'll use a conditional break. If this time I'll check the j. If j mod 2 is equal to 0, then I say break. So can you guess what is happening here? Okay, let's go. So what happens? I will be 0, and then j will be 0. It will print 0 comma 0, and then it will check if j divided by 2 is 0 or not. The remaining of j divided by 2 is 0 or not. So for 0 it is not 0, but when it comes to 2 it becomes 0, right? That moment it breaks it. So this time it will skip these 0 comma 2. It will just go with only 0 0 0 1, but 0 comma 2 will not present because it is breaking whenever the modulus of 2 of the j value is 0. So that's why this is going to skip the value 2 in the j iteration. Let us see. Okay, so it has printed 0 0, and then j modulus 2 is equal to 0. Then break. Why it is not printing it for 1 also? Okay, anything divided by, okay, I understand now. So what I do is I'll put it in this way, 1 comma 4. The reason is 0 by anything is 0, so that's why it is happening that way. Let me increase it now, and I'll run it. Okay, so now it prints 1 1 1 2, and then it stops. Then it again starts with 2 1 2 2, it stops. 3 1 3 2, it stops. The moment it reaches okay, so try to understand these guys. So range, I'm defining the starting point as 1 and then the ending point as 4. So this is not going to take the last value. So the range is 1 2 3, and here also it is 1 2 3. In the second for loop, what I'm doing is I'm including a conditional break, and what it does is it checks if the iterator value is divided by 2 and the remaining is 0, then break it. So when will it become 0? When it reaches this point, right? So when the j becomes 2, 2 by 2 or 2 mod 2 is 0. So when 2 mod 2 is 0, it breaks. So what happens? This inner loop is getting broken, and then the control goes to the outer loop. That's why outer loop, you see that it goes from 1 2 3 1 2 3. The left side of the output is outer loop, in right side of the output is inner loop. The outer loop goes 1 2 3, but inner loop, it stops at 1 2 1 2 1 2. The 3 is never executed. If I don't have this break, you can see that. Okay, cool. I'll explain you what is pass. So if I don't have this break, what happens? It prints 1 1 1 2 1 3. The inner loop also prints 3. Then again 2 1 2 2 2 3 3 1 3 2 3 3. But the moment I introduce break, it skips after 2. See, 1 2 1 1 1 1 2, and then 1 3 is missing because the inner loop is broken by this break. Okay, next, why did I use this pass? Say you have a if condition, but you don't have any body in it or any block of code in it, then you need to use pass, right? It is just a code which will not do anything. The pass is nothing but don't do anything. That is what the pass command tells the Python compiler. Okay, so that's why I used pass, and it is not of so important, so don't pay much attention. So you can use pass, just know it, that's all. All right, so we covered another scenario where we can use break and where we can use this inner for loop. All right, so now we covered these two. Next, what I want to do is I want to cover few things in print statement. So let me create a new file. It is test6. Close test. Why is it? Let me remove it. It's okay. I'll open it and I delete everything. Okay, so I created test6, and let's go with print statements. Okay, print 10. So it is printing the value 10. Next, I'll print my name. What do you see? 10 is printed, and then Loganathan is printed in the next line, not in the same line. Any reason why it is printed in the next line, not in the same line? Correct. By default, what this print statement does is it puts a next line character after the end of the value it prints. Can we override it? Yes, we can override. So that is when we use the end keyword. So I'll repeat it. Print function prints the value what is given inside it, and then by default it adds an end as next line character. So what is meant by that? Say 10 comma end is equal to /n. So this is what it does. Even if I don't give this, this is what it does. So there is no change in the output, right? With and without this end, no change, because here also I'm saying end as /n. Now I'm going to override it. What I'm going to do, instead of /n, I'm going to say star. What will happen now? 10 star Loganathan. Can you see? The reason is this time /n is overridden. The end which I used as /n is overridden to star. So what it does is it prints 10, and at the end of the 10 it prints the star, and then there is no /n, due to which the next print statement comes next to the star. But as I said, this print has the default /n. That is why you see a space after Loganathan, and then it gives the next line of code here. Okay, understand that? So print always have an argument called end, and that end is always set to /n, which is nothing but the next line statement. But if we want to override it, we can override it. So I use single star. Can I use hyphens? Yes, I can use hyphens. See, so any string within the single quotes I am allowed to use. Okay, cool. So here also I can use the same. If I don't want this extra line to appear, then I can do like this, end is equal to, I'll end it with hash. You see, now there is no extra space here. Got it? So this is another thing that we need to understand when we use the print statement. Okay. With that, let's see how to print the the squares and then the triangles. I'll solve some simple programs, guys. The reason why I'm doing is these are some common practice questions that you can pick up and practice to improve your looping statement skills, right? How to use your loops, how to use conditions, so that you can logically use them when the real-time scenarios are going to thrown in front of your way. Okay, next I'll go with patterns. I'll name it as test 7. So let me first try to print the square pattern. How can I do it? I need 2 loops, and I put it as for in range. I go with 5. Then I'll go with for I or j in range, I say 5, and then I say print, and here I will say star. What will happen if I simply put this? There is a syntax error, sorry for it. Okay, the star gets printed in single line, but now I don't want the star to be printed in single line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the end, and this time I'm going to give a space. Let's see what is going to happen. As you see, this has printed, but all 25 stars in single line, because this range has 5 characters and 5 elements, and this range has 5 elements, and it has printed 25 times. If I just want to make the print to put a, what is it called, next line character after the second inner for loop ends, then I need to use this here. So what will happen when the inner for loop runs? It will print everything in one line, and when the inner for loop is completed, then it will do a dummy print. When it does the dummy print, it takes the print statement to the next line, and then the second time this iterator, the outer iterator is running, it will again starts from the second line. So let's see it. Can you see it? So let me maybe increase the space just to see if it is getting printed in square format. Perfect. Are you seeing it? So it is in square format. Why? Again, I'll explain you. When the outer for loop runs, or when the control comes to outer for loop, it always brings the line to the next line. So what this one does, by default, it has the end. Default end has next line character. But here what we are doing, we are overriding the next line character and adding a double space. That's why when the inner for loop runs, this is the first iteration of the inner for loop, and it printed 5 stars with spaces. It did not go to the next line. So after it completes the 5 star, next it has to go to the outer for loop for the next iteration. When it goes there, the control goes to the next line because of this print. When this is executed, once again when the inner for loops come into play, it again prints the stars in the same line. So that's why you see this pattern, the square pattern. Okay, next I'll tell you how to create a triangle pattern. So I'm not going to do anything much here. Instead of passing range of 5, I'm making this 5 as dynamic, so I'll put I here. So what happens? When I is 0, nothing will print, because when I is equal to 0, j is 0, and then the range of 0. Any idea what is range of 0? This is empty collection. Okay. So I will be 0. This will run for 0 to 1, 0 to 4. And then this will, for the first time, and the range of the I is 0, range of 0 is empty, so this for loop will be skipped. Only when the I becomes 1, the range will also become range of 1. When range of 1 is 0, 1, right? Sorry, range of 1 is 0. So again I'll say range of 1 is just 0. Range of 2 is 0, 1. Right? Likewise, it goes up until range of 3, 4. It will go like this. Okay, it will go. So now let's print this and see what is going to happen. So are you seeing it? Let me make it as 5. Yeah. So it so for the 0, it is not going to print anything. That's why you see only the 4 lines. If you want to make it 6 rows, then put the range at the outer for loop as 6. And you see the triangle here with 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see it? And this is achieved because the inner for loop is having the dynamic range, and it is not a fixed range like this. Here it is fixed range like 5. So always it prints 5 stars. But here it is dynamic, and based on the outer for loops iterator value, the inner for loops stars are going to come. Outer for loops I value will be 0 for the very first time, so nothing will be printed. When it becomes 1, only 1 star will be printed. When it becomes 2, 2 stars will be printed. When it becomes 3, 3 stars will be printed. 4, 4 stars will be printed. So on and so forth it prints until this I gets exhausted, right? So that's why you are seeing the triangle pattern. And we can use this end function, and we can do, or what we can do is we can achieve the same with another method, which is nothing but using the print I in, say, range 5. I say that print star, let's leave a space and one more space, star 5 times. Okay, and I'll put a break here just for understanding. Let's see. Okay, as you see here, the first star square is the output of using the nested for loop, and then the second star square output is coming from the simple for loop, but where I've used the print statement with this multiplication operator and the number which is going to repeat. So here this 5 is static, it is not dynamic, And if I want to print triangle using the same method, then I just simply go with I here. If I make it I, what will happen? First time star will be printed 0 times, so nothing will come. Second time the star will be printed 1 time. Third time the star will be printed 2 times. So likewise, until the range it prints. So let's see. I print it again here. As you see, I got 2 times the stars and the first one is blank. You know why the first one is blank? Because of this dot 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 dot, because it is, we are not ending it, right? So I can put end equal to nothing. I can say, if I do this and you don't see a gap. Okay, don't worry about it. I don't want to make it complicated for you. Let it be like this. I just want to make you understand how you can print the patterns using nested for loops or simple for loop, one for loop with the print statement, which allows us to use this repeat option, right? We can repeat the string as many number of times we want by using the star mark, which is nothing but the repeat operator. Okay, all right, this concludes my today's video. Okay, hope you really liked it and hope you were able to follow and able to understand this. In case of any questions or comments, please leave a note in the comment section. I'll answer them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing. Take care. Bye.